What is going on, everybody? It's Francis here for the first ever episode and review of NXT UK. UK happened at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it came live on the WWE Network from Cambridge. It wasn't actually live, but it was on the WWE Network at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock UK time. And everyone's expecting that after the Mae Young Classic is done next week, which is the final episode of the Mae Young Classic before we get to Evolution and we find out who's going to win that one. I'm picking Tony Storm by this point, but there's people out there thinking that the UK game, like the NXT UK, is going to be moved to 9 o'clock, and that is not going to be the case. They're going to keep NXT UK where it's at. It is going to be at 3 o'clock every single week. It is going to be at 3 o'clock because this is for the UK guys and the UK fans. The UK fans already had to stay up enough as it is to watch WWE Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and anything else. So they get this is their show. People like me, JD, and others are going to watch it, but this show is built for the other guys, for the UK fans. Now, if Crown Jewel was to be moved, and WWE wanted to put it in a new location, this is got to be one of the best places to put it, because you could just, the crowd, first off, they were in Cambridge, I think it was the Cornhouse. The crowd is definitely, I think, twice the size of what we would usually see it was twice the size of what you would see in NXT itself. So, it was definitely different. And I had no problem with that. It's definitely going to be great to see what happens and see how far we go. And of course, unlike NXT, which outside of one event or another, which we've had, when it was like when NXT was in Osaka or somewhere else, like once in a blue moon, NXT UK is going to have 4 episodes, 4 weeks in one place, and then they'll move to somewhere else. I don't remember where they're at next, but they're at the Download Festival in August. So later in this year or beginning of next year, we are going to see different crowds. It won't always be the same old crowds like we get for NXT itself, which is going to feel great and definitely be a nice change of pace. So NXT is going to be great. This, of course, the other 2 NXT titles have not happened yet, but eventually we will have NXT UK tag team titles, which, by the way, we will talk about and show those on Unscripted this week. They are absolutely gorgeous. And we also have an NXT Women's Championship, which has been shown off too. Not a big fan of that because it just looks the same as it would before. So definitely going to be interesting to see what they do for all this stuff. I'm looking forward to NXT itself. If you are a fan of NXT, if you're a fan of the Adam Coles, the Undisputed Era, the not Mustache Man, if you're a fan of like a Tony Storm or Mark Andrews or Pete Dunne, what you see in NXT, you're going to love what you see in NXT UK. This is definitely going to be a great show, a great night. It's like Wednesday night is going to be the place for wrestling because you have NXT UK in the afternoon, if you can see it live. NXT, you have 205 Live, which being taped before SmackDown is definitely the way to go, and I hope they keep it that way even after the Mixed Match Challenge ends in December. I hope, because it will definitely be worth the wait. And then, of course, you have NXT as the final show, so it's definitely going to be worth watching. I can't wait to see what happens there, but we did have ourselves an inaugural episode here, which started off with Mark Andrews versus Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey, of course, him and his brother are a tag team to build for a tag team division. As of right now, from what I see, we have Mustache Mountain, which were on this show, and the Coffey brothers are your 2 tag teams in the NXT UK brand for the time being. Eventually, we will see other tag teams come across too as we get to. And again, as I said, the NXT Tag Team Championships are probably my favorite new belts that have been debuted this year. I mean, I do love the North American Championship, but if I had to pick my favorite belts, all of them are mostly in NXT. And the match was on. We had Coffee in control with a few near fall pins where he had Mark Andrews' arms pinned down. He kept he raised up one arm, then the other, and then the thing where he raises both up with his head. He gets out of that and rolls out and takes down Coffee. Arm drag stopped by Coffee, but he hits a Hurricane Runner. He rocks Coffee. Andrews on the apron with a jumping kick and enziguri leg kick. Then a springboard Hurricane Runner. Then he kicks up. Crowd is in this match. The crowd, and what I like about the UK fans and why I hope they get some kind of event that is like a special event. Maybe a takeover could be UK, which of course the last takeover we had for the UK was Takeover London. I think it was Takeover London Takeover London, and it was definitely awesome, that crowd. So definitely going to be interesting to see what we get. Andrew tries to Irish with Coffee, but no dice. Coffee with a shoulder tackle after a missed lariat. Reversed airplane spin by Coffee, then a butterfly suplex for a 2 count. Andrews tossed to the outside and from behind Coffee, because he tossed Andrews out to the outside. Did the whole thing where he gets the ref's attention. Mark Coffey's winding up himself, getting ready to, lay out Mark Andrews, but the referee turns around before anything can happen, and Mark Andrews is paying attention to Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey with a nasty lariat from behind, then screams, "My kingdom! My kingdom!" twice, 3 times. So the Iron King is letting you know that this is his kingdom, and nobody's going to get in his way. Coffee off with an out, takes off the elbow pad, looks for the black coffee, which is his spinning discus lariat. I don't care what the hell they call it. It has always been to me since like the last 2 years. And I'm like, it's going to be black coffee to me, whether he's in WWE or not. Let me see here. Opens up on Coffee. Oh, Andrews fights out and opens up on Coffee. Kick to the gut, knee to the jaw, jumping enziguri by Andrews. Then a double knees in the corner. Then a roll through, double stomp, corkscrew, moonsault for a 2 count. Definitely a hell of a cool combination. Uppercut by Coffee, then a running diving headbutt followed by a splash in the corner. Then a power slam for a 2 count. Slumdog Millionaire by Stun Gun Millionaire, whatever they call it, by Andrews. Andrews goes out, but Mark pulls Coffee out of the ring, but Andrews hits a moonsault on both men. Over the head, belly to belly by Coffee after his brother distracts Andrews, because Andrews goes back up after this and looks to hit a something off the top rope. Andrews stops, and Mark stops that. He gets a belly to belly by Coffee, then a black Coffee for the 3 count, and winner of the first match to air for NXT UK is Joe Coffey. Post-match, Mark and Joe attack Andrews until Flash Morgan Webster comes out and makes the save. So maybe Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster team up and become a thing. Who knows? Mustache Mountain here, and they're way over with the crowd. The 2 biggest pops of the night were Tony Storm and Mark was in Mustache Mountain, bar none. These 3 individuals were were way over. I mean, everybody got a great response in this show, but you could definitely tell the 2 fan favorites are, and that is Mustache Mountain and Tony Storm. Pete Dunne, I think Pete Dunne got the 3rd. Like Pete Dunne and Noam Dar got pretty good pops too, but the biggest pop of the night in my opinion, was Mustache Mountain and Tony Storm. Do they have it on here? Nope. I was hoping they would, but they don't. Mustache Mountain comes out. Trent thanks Cambridge, says today is a special day because this is quite literally the biggest day in British professional wrestling history. Huge UK chant. It's not just about me and him. He's pointing to Tyler Bate, who's in the ring of Raw. And it's really not about everyone in the back. It's about everyone who is here we witnessed the birth of NXT UK. Tyler Bate brings up the Royal Albert Hall and then winning the tag team titles. Bate says, even though we aren't the NXT tag team champs anymore, Triple H did mention UK tag team championships, which, of course, got a huge reaction. Brings up the fact that he was the first ever UK champion. Trent Seven said, and the youngest, playfully slapping him on the shoulder. Then Tyler Bate came back and said, yeah, you could be the oldest. That got a laugh out of me and everyone else. Trent says, when the UK tag team titles are unveiled, I want everybody in the back to be at their best, because I want Mustache Mountain to have the best competition, because this is our brand, and this is our NXT UK. So definitely going to be interesting to see what it comes to the NXT UK tag team titles, because they were unveiled. I will show them off on Saturday, and if you haven't seen them yet, we're going to talk about that and my thoughts on them on Saturday. But unlike the Women's Championship, which when it was unveiled, and that same night, that same 2-day, they had a 2-day tournament, which we'll see later down the line. The tag team champions have not been crowned yet. So it will be interesting to see who are going to be the first NXT tag team champions. Sid Scala, or I should say victim number 1 for one Dave Mastiff. Dave Mastiff took on this victim, and he won after a cannonball, which I don't even think is his finisher. Sid Scala did put up a fight, but there was no match with Dave Mastiff, and Dave Mastiff wins here. There was a huge Dave Mastiff's gonna kill you chant, which I honestly thought was going to be awesome, the fact that they said that. And I have a feeling that he will be heel in due time, because Dave Mastiff just looks like that kind of guy who should be running some kind of heel character in NXT UK. It just feels like that's what it should be. Toni Storm versus Nina Samuels. Honestly, who do you think was going to win this one? Nina Samuels did get a lot of offense in on Toni Storm, but she hit the legit Storm Zero, which is not the one she's been using in the Mae Young Classic. So, yeah. Toni Storm wins this one. She is looking to become the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. Will that happen? I'm not sure. We'll see when we get there, but it will. I know she is in the tournament for the UK Championship for the women. I do know that. I don't know who won the thing, but I know she is, Rhea Ripley is, Ginny is, I think Millie McKenzie is too. That's all the 4 I know for that, I believe. I can't remember if there's anyone else, but definitely is going to be interesting to see when we get there. We got a ways to go, because these were taped. This was taped, I believe, in July, or late June or July. And the Women's Championship was not crowned until August, so we're looking at probably the middle of next month, or the end of next month, or the beginning of December, that we have the Women's Championship crowned, even though Evolution is as the week from Sunday, and the UK Women's Championship is supposed to be online at Evolution, so it's going to be kind of weird to have that championship there when we don't know that who the women's champion is and how she got the championship. With Evolution coming up, it just makes no sense. Tyler Bate versus Wolfgang has been made for next week, so we're already on the fast track to next week. We have one match announced, and that will be Tyler Bate versus Wolfgang. That should be one hell of a show. I do probably expect to see the Coffee Brothers get involved somehow, for the simple fact is it would make sense, and the fact that, the only two legit tag teams that we have in NXT UK are the Coffee Brothers and Mustache Mountain. Maybe start a feud between these two teams, and the Coffee Brothers and Mustache Mountain will probably be the first two teams to have a crack to win the NXT UK Championships. Johnny Saint was out here for the first ever first ever main event of NXT UK. He really didn't do anything. He did shake the hands of both competitors before the match, left the ring after that. Huge Bruiserweight chant by the crowd. Noam Dar did play more of a heel in this match, for the fact that everyone was all over and wanting to see Noam Dar, but Tyler Bate win this thing. Now, Tyler Bate, Noam Dar tried to play the heel, but he was still got his share of Supernova chants by the crowd. There was at one time where there was a Supernova Bruiserweight back and forth chant. Dunne tosses his jacket at Dar before the match started. Dar plays mind games with Pete Dunne. He goes to shake his hand and points the pinky up. I don't know what the whole pinky thing means. It's something that he does. Dunne Dunne with a windmill backslide for a 2 count. It looked like he was going to do a spin him out backslide, but he did it like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I was getting dizzy, and I was just watching the match. Nasty clothesline by Dunne, taking down Dar with a shot to the right knee and ankle of Dunne, who was trying to do his back thumb out of the corner. That made his knee compromised for a moment in the show. So Dar goes outside and pulls Dunne to the apron with some shots. Then he just throws Dunne down to the apron, but he's hanging out of the ring, and he hits him with a soccer kick, as they called it. Dar tosses Dunne in, and he continues the attack, but Dunne with an X-Plex out of nowhere and both men are down. Dunne gets up and he unloads shots on the Dar with the back foot. Dunne with the black foot, then a kick in the corner, looks for a bitter end, but German suplexes Dunne, but Dunne back flips out of that, and a kick to Dar's head, and a sit-out powerbomb for a 2 count. This was a definitely good match. It was a good match to end the first show. It wasn't like, was it a match of the year candidate? No, but it was definitely a good way to end the first match. A British wrestling chain breaks out in the crowd. Dunne goes up, but Dar stops him. Dunne works on the nose of Dar, but Dar with the kick to the leg of Dunne. Dar with the shots to Dunne and an uppercut. Northern Light suplex for a 2 count. Both on the apron. They start trading. They don't start trading punches. They started trading like small punches. These guys just start beating the hell out of each other with big shots, but Dunne with a joint manipulation. And I'm just gonna mind you that I was eating a piece of pizza when this joint manipulation thing goes on, and that is something you don't want to be eating food with because, dude, I don't know how anyone can go through watch Dunne manipulate joints like he does because he makes it sick as can be. But Dar with a kick to the head, and then he grabs Pete Dunne and hits a fisherman suplex on the apron. My word, that had to hurt. Both men are down. Both men barely beat the 10 count. They crawl to the middle. Dunne grabs Dar's hand. Dar tries to fight out, and I swear it looked like he broke Dar's finger. He literally did his finger snap, like Marty Scurll does, the finger snap. He literally looked like I thought he broke one of Dar's fingers. But Dar comes around and hits a back elbow with the other elbow from the other hand that was not snapped. Dunne goes for a triangle, but Dar to reverse it into a submission, but Dunne gets out of that, but Dar does turn it into a submission. He hits him in the knee bar. They trade shots. Both men are down. Dar gets caught, and Dunne with a double wrist lock. Reversed into a suplex. Dar then takes out the legs of Dunne. Dunne with a nasty forearm. Bitter end was blocked and turned into a knee bar. The people on commentary were Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness for this show. Obviously, and I will say this, Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph were not live with the crowd. You can tell because they were standing, anytime they cut to them, they were standing in front of a green screen with the UK logo behind them. So these guys were at Stamford, Connecticut calling these matches. Dunne does fight to the bottom rope. Both Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness thought the match was over before that. Dunne grabs the pinky of... This is sick, and I don't know why he would do it. Noam Dar had his pinky out. He does his little pinky taunt. He had the pinky out. Dunne grabs it, bends it backwards, stands it up on the mat, on the ring, and just stomps down. Gets Noam Dar, hits the bitter end. 1, 2, 3, and Pete Dunne is still your UK champion. Post-match, they look like they're going to shake hands, but they both put a pinky up instead, out of sign of respect. So, that was your first episode of NXT UK. NXT UK will be coming to us every single week, non-stop for the next, hopefully forever. I understand why they do these 4 weeks in advance, because usually the WWE doesn't go over to the UK. They did advertise a couple, if you are going to the UK, if you're in the UK, you do have, I think, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th for SmackDown, and in November, I think it's the 3rd, 4th, and 6th, maybe, for SmackDown. They did advertise that AJ Styles will be taking on Samoa Joe in those house shows, so Samoa Joe's not out of the WWE Championship picture completely. And then, of course, they also advertised for Raw on November 5th, the Shield versus the Dogs of War, even though I'm pretty sure that match is not happening now, the fact that what happened this past Monday. Anyway, that was NXT UK Episode 1. Great way to start the show. Great way to start this new brand. I can't wait to see what we get next week with not Pete Dunne, but Tyler Bate and Wolfgang. That should be that main event. I can't wait. And we do have NXT coming up. It is starting now as I am finishing recording this. I will have that review up after 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to let this one get as much as it can. But until then, my name is Franz. You guys have a good one, and I will see you in about 2 hours for NXT main show. Until then, I will see you guys later.